Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Well, I got green lighted. My forced chemo hiatus is over. I am back in the hospital. I have been admitted. All of the blood work has come back, and we just started the pre-meds, the Dex, and the blah 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 blah. The Benadryl's coming. The Benadryl's coming. I'm so hoping that this Benadryl makes me high and happy, because I know emotionally in this moment I'm doing okay, because I have been entertaining myself all day with my lovely team. One of the things that I love about this particular facility at the UI is that it's a teaching facility, and it is one of the most diverse medical systems that I've ever seen. Like, I can't tell you how many different languages that I've heard. And so today, because we just celebrated Thanksgiving, as I'm riding the roller coaster of emotions, right? I went out and did my dance, get myself physically ready, and I've been posing a question to everyone. Do you celebrate Thanksgiving? If so, tell me about it. I want to know, what was your favorite dish? What do you do? Because I love this, because as we talked about, I think Thanksgiving is the only like non-religious Thanksgiving. And you can come up with other ones like, hey, July 4th. Well, it is a pretty patriotic, like, religious thing. So Thanksgiving is just really coming together around food and community. And so I've been so fortunate this morning to be hearing stories from this Pakistani gentleman, has 3 generations in his home, and his mom actually cooks. And what does she choose to cook from their culture, but what did she absorb from the American Thanksgiving? And a lovely Filipino lady this morning was telling me, this woman from the Caribbean. And it was just really, it was lovely to hear all of these stories, and a reminder of why I'm here, why I'm willing to go through this, to have more time with friends and family. All right, well, I've got about 20 minutes before the Benadryl hits, so I'm going to do a 15-minute breath work exercise and try to get my mind ready. It's like bing, 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 bing. For me. My nurse came in to tell me that we're about to start treatment, and he was just about to push the last pre-jobs, which included Benadryl. Yay. But this is the thing. Ooh. I got so emotional when he said, okay, here we go. We're down to the last half hour before we start. And I got so sad. And now I'm on Benadryl sad. Fuck me. Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I made it out of the hospital. It's a very strange week. It's strange, and well, you know, this is my 5th holiday season living with cancer. Stage 4 terminal cancer. My wife and I were just saying earlier how, Avi, so fucking grateful to be here, right? And we have eked out like a pretty decent, amazing, beautiful time together over the last 5 years, but we've also like cried every day for 5 years. level of trauma. We see it around the world right now, right? But what's really weird about this week is that it's been 5 years that I've been in treatment for cancer. And I was trying to add it up the other day. I lost track. But you know, I'm like closing in on 100 rounds of chemo. With this last surgery I had, what was that, 12, 13 surgeries? 30, 40 rounds of radiation. I have forgotten. But the point being, all of that accumulated, I have been in treatment non-stop. Chemo, bam, surgery, bam, radiation, bam, chemo, radiation, bam, chemo, surgery, radiation, bam. I mean, just non-stop for 5 years. And then, if you remember when I was diagnosed, I was like, woohoo, living my best life one day. And literally within 2 weeks, I couldn't walk. So I didn't have time to be sick. I didn't have time to... I was so sick. Immediately. Like, shit, man, we're dying sick so fast. And when I realized this week, I just, I don't remember losing my mind. I don't recall that, like, drip, 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 where you knew the clarity that you had, where you knew, like, when you looked in the mirror, you pretty much always could say who was looking back, you know? When you prided yourself on never having to take notes. I built business after business. And I don't say that I just was, my mind flowed so beautifully. And this week, being in the hospital and having had a forced 2.5 month chemo break. My mind was it was humming. My wife wasn't having to check to make sure I put pants on before I walked out the door. You know? I didn't realize that. I mean, we talked about it. I knew I was going to get emotional, but I didn't realize, like, how I was going to feel it. Like, it was like watching a movie this week. And now I feel like I'm in a cloud of cotton again. You know, it's funny. I was also thinking this week. I told you I was raised by a merry band of drunks and addicts, and you know, they taught us that for everything you do, you know, if you want to celebrate, get fucked up. You're sad, get fucked up. You're angry, get fucked up. You're bored, get fucked up. And I learned lessons from them very well. I had my first 3-day hangover at the age of 8. That was my first blackout hangover. Smoked my first bong at the age of 10. And I didn't start smoking cigarettes till a teenager though, because I drew the line. But I think to that life, that choice, that I mean, then as a child, but if you to make that choice to so willingly impair the functioning of your brain. It's been it's sad because I feel very I guess I just feel very sad. I feel very lost, confused a lot again. I didn't experience this the first time, or if I did, it was in too much of crisis. I remember the emotional toil I went through when I turned a little bit of corner with the cancer and started to come back physically and, a bit mentally. And I remember thinking that don't enjoy this. Don't allow yourself to feel any joy in this. Because when it leaves you the second time, the real time, oh man, it's gonna be so ugly. I was right. Well, at least I'm not dehydrated. Well, I may be losing my mind again, but I do recall that this week I have a skull brain MRI on Wednesday. And I always say, we don't know till we know. I generally don't stress about my CT scans unless I know. And if you recall, it was not my team that brought the original brain MRI forward in the spring. It was me, because I knew. And, well, I know again. I did see a doctor this week. It was funny because I was explaining that there's a new spot on my head, and I pause at that because I never want to admit. But anyways, I was explaining to her that there was a spot in my head, and I was explaining that, you know, I did have my jaw collapsed, bone loss here. So how do we know that that's actually just not a shift in my skull? And this bone protruding from my head right now is not simply just a shift, right? Doesn't that make sense? And I just love this doctor. She's very kind. In that moment, she just burst out in the most genuine, authentic laugh in appreciation to the lengths that I will go to figure out how to fucking shit rainbows through this. Needless to say, she is not of the opinion that that physically could happen, but you know, I am unique. So, hey. Didn't think I'd be here 5 years later either, huh? Ugh. It's on Wednesday. Shitting rainbows on Wednesday. I do have, I have a couple of appointments. I have an EKG, I have an MRI, I meet with my oncologist. Oh, heavy. But then my wife and I also have bought prepared gifts for children, and we plan on going around the city and playing giver Santa Claus to kids to balance out the day. Shitting rainbows. All right. Thank you for coming to check in on me. Oh, I did want one other thing I thought would be nice. We chatted about American Thanksgiving traditions, which is really just friends and family traditions, right? There's so many more holidays that are being celebrated right now, and I'd love to hear about any tradition that you have built with your friends and family in celebration of whatever it is that you're choosing. It would be very lovely to hear such stories. All right, I will see you next Sunday. Thank you, my friend, for being here.